All right, hi everyone, and thank you for being here today. I'm Paige.
I'm Ruiling.
And we are with the Behavioral and Decision Sciences program. So we're going to be presenting research that we conducted last semester in one of our courses, and that is titled, Does Phone Presence Disrupt Collaborative Performance? So before we begin, can I get a quick show of hands from those of you who have your phone with you today? So pretty much everyone. I think we can all agree that our phones make our lives easier. They allow us to communicate with almost anyone around the world, and they provide access to a seemingly infinite amount of information. But for all the benefits that they offer, our phones are not always beneficial. I know we can all relate to being in class or in a meeting when we're trying to be productive, but everyone's on their phone and we just are getting nothing done. Or maybe we're on a date, we're trying to have a romantic moment, but we're just so curious what's going on in The Bachelor right now. I can relate to that. And in fact, we have kind of a personal story we'd like to share about how we came up with the idea for this research project. Ruiling, if you'd like to tell them?
Sure. We were tasked to develop research ideas for our experimental method class. And during our group brainstorming session, I was so distracted by my phone buzzing a lot. And so there we go, that's our research idea. So lesson 1 for today, don't be like me, otherwise your group may make a study out of it and you'll be remembered for the reason why.
All right, so it's clear that phones can be really distracting. And in fact, there's quite a bit of research to back this up. Perhaps unsurprisingly, studies show that using your phone in the classroom is linked to worsened academic performance. And I know that my professors like to cite this next study a lot on the first day of class, that simply having your phone in front of you on your table, as opposed to in your bag or outside of the room, can actually decrease your cognitive capacities. And finally, your own ringtone, but not someone else's, diverts your attention in a similar manner to hearing your own name. However, it's important to note that all of these studies have only focused on how a phone might impair individual performance. There's little, if any, empirical research that looks at how a phone might interfere with a group or a pair working collaboratively on a task. And since there seems to be no shortage of meetings and group projects, we thought that this was something that we really need to know, which brings us to our research question.
So our research question is, how does smartphone presence impact pair performances, and how? And so that brings us to our hypothesis. And we have 2 hypotheses. Our first main hypothesis is that phone presence will actually negatively impact pair performance. And our secondary hypothesis is that phone salience, here meaning how noticeable your phone is, will also have an impact on the collaborative performance. So we recruited participants to do a fun task. It's an interesting task because who doesn't really like crossword puzzles? Through randomizations, we randomly assigned the pairs that we recruited into 3 different groups. The first one being no phone group, the second one being low salience, and the third one being high salience group. And for our no phone group, it's our control group. While we asked them to do the crossword puzzles, we asked them to put their phones away while they're doing the crossword puzzles. And for the low salience phone group, we asked them to put their phones both on the tables, but on do not disturb mode. And for the high salience group, we asked them to put their phones on the table where they can see it, and also we told them we may or may not text them with a clue for the crossword puzzles when they're doing it. We also asked them to use one of their phones to set a 3 minutes remaining reminder. And for the 2 other groups, our researchers actually provided a 3 minutes remaining reminder.
All right, so as Ruiling mentioned, the task that we used was a crossword puzzle. However, your typical crossword puzzle is designed to be done alone, so we had to modify it a little bit to best facilitate this collaboration that we were looking for. And we did this by seating each half of our pair across from each other at a table and giving one person the clues to the crossword and the other person was given the physical crossword puzzle. So this ensured that they had to communicate and work together in order to get anything done. And so they were given 6 minutes to complete 3 different crosswords. At the halfway point, they were either notified by the experimenter or their phone going off if they were in the high salience condition. After these 6 minutes had elapsed, we stopped them and gave them a quick demographic survey where we asked them a variety of questions, including whether they knew their partner beforehand and how often they used their phone. And after they were dismissed, we measured their performance by counting the number of complete tiles that they had gotten correct over the 3 crossword puzzles. So what did we find? In line with our hypotheses, we found that those in the no phone condition scored better than those in the low salience and the high salience conditions. However, the only significant difference between groups was between those in the no phone condition and those in the high salience condition. I should also mention that none of the demographic information we collected had any effect on performance. So this means that even if your partner was your best friend or you only use your phone for 5 minutes a day, you still weren't immune to these distracting effects of this high salience condition.
So to translate the graph into plain words, the first interpretation is that people actually tend to perform worse on the task when their phone is present. And secondary, phone presence does have a negative impact on collaborative performance, but only when the phone is super noticeable. So what are the potential implications? First, at companies, in company meetings, or in even just group work for your schoolwork, you can enact group policies regarding phone usage. In meetings, you can try to make your phone less noticeable to decrease the impact your phone may have on your collaborative performance. And to do that, you can simply put your phone away. You can put your phone on Do Not Disturb, or you can just simply turn your phone facing down on the table, or just put it on airplane mode. And lastly, we like to call for more research on how phone affects collaborations. There are a lot of past research and studies done on how phone affects individual performances. However, there's not so much on how phone affects collaborative performances. We like to argue that the process behind how phone affect individual versus collaborative performances actually is different. Because in a collaborative environment, there are more human-to-human interactions, and that requires more of our attention. And so we like to believe that in a group environment, we are not necessarily more likely to get distracted. However, our study found evidence that it's not true. So we like to call for more research in this area because this could have wide implications for company management or for classroom management. And so you may want to, remember, during first day of your class, your professors always tell you to put your phones away. So you may want to listen to your professors and actually put your phones away. And you may want to put your phones away or make it less noticeable during group meetings, so you don't end up like me and have your group make a study out of it. So yeah, and thank you very much. That's all of our presentations. We'd also like to express special thanks to Dr. Eugen Demon, who provided guidance and also mentoring us throughout the entire project. And we'd also like to thank Dr. Sue Weber for coaching us on our presentation last semester. And we'd like to thank Dr. Christopher Nave from our MBDS program. Thank you so much.